Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. So this video is from the officer Tatum and it's titled DC Crash Caused by Female Army Pilot Refusing Orders as Her Social Media Disappears. You guys, I'm excited and let's check this video out.
The New York Times states that Captain Rebecca Loback missed an order from her co-pilot, flight instructor Andrew Eves. He was overseeing what was a training mission. The order changed course to avoid the oncoming American Airlines jet.
It's interesting to me to know what was on her social media that people were willing to violate policy to protect her in order for them to completely delete her social media. Let's talk about the Black Hawk helicopter crash, because this is a very weird and suspicious things that I think is going on, and it's funny because we'll never get the answer to. My researcher, Jordan, she gave me a little bit of information that most people are not talking about, and it's not necessarily confirmed, but it's incredibly suspicious. So Rebecca, what's her name? Rebecca Loback, who's the pilot who messed up everything and ended up killing everybody. It's interesting that the family requested of the military, which is a violation of military policy, that they wanted them to hold off on releasing her name. Now, in the time that they held off, which is after notifying the next of kin within 24 hours, I think 24 or 48 hours, they have to disclose the name. But while they held off on it, longer than policy dictates for everybody else in the military, it appears that they completely scrubbed all of her social media. Now, maybe, just maybe, they just wanted to protect her image. Or maybe, just maybe, the stuff that she was posting on social media was very concerning. And if people knew her name, they would have looked it up before they could delete everything. It's interesting to me to know what was on her social media that people were willing to violate policy to protect her in order for them to completely delete her social media or virtually delete her social media. Now, obviously, some information has come out about what happened specifically. And there's a couple things that she did that were incorrect that led to everybody dying. I'm just going to keep it straight honest with you, because if it was me, I don't mind if y'all talk about me like this when I'm dead. If I did what she did and I killed 70, 80 people, I don't know how many people end up dying in this, then y'all could talk as bad as you want about me, because I would deserve it if I did this. Now, it's funny because people like to say that she spoke over the ground crew and that she missed instructions from her co-pilot. Now, everybody dead, so we don't know if she missed it or she ignored it. So quit saying she missed the instructions. She could have very well blatantly ignored it, or she was so incompetent that she didn't interpret it properly and ended up getting a lot of people killed. Now, I'm not trying to bash this young lady. She lost her life. But accountability is accountability, because somebody grandma, somebody cousin, somebody daughter, all took a L that day, flying in the air at 200 miles per hour to just die a probably horrible, scary death landing in the bay there. That don't forget about them too. But let's play the information clip, and then I'll go over why I think that this stuff is critical to understand, and also a little bit of critique that I haven't mentioned yet. Roll it.
Well, tragic new details are pointing to failures in the January mid-air collision near Reagan National Airport that killed 67 people.
67.
A shocking new report by the New York Times revealing the Army Black Hawk pilot failed to heed a flight instructor's warning just seconds before crashing with an American Airlines jet, killing everyone on board. We head out now to News Nation's Rich McHugh. And Rich, you've obtained some new audio recordings from that incident. What more are you learning?
Hi, Kelly. Yeah, up until now, the discussion has been centered around the height of the Black Hawk helicopter and that it had been flying too high. And now we're learning that multiple safety precautions failed that night. But ultimately, this report by the New York Times is pointing the finger at the Black Hawk pilot, that she failed to follow the command of her co-pilot and flight instructor that night. The New York Times states that Captain Rebecca Loback missed an order from her co-pilot, flight instructor Andrew Eves. He was overseeing what was a training mission. The order changed course to avoid the oncoming American Airlines jet. In addition to that, pilots missed key information when they stepped on instructions from air traffic control. In other words, they talked over instructions and didn't hear them, missing the directives from air traffic control. the plane was circling. In this audio we've obtained 20 seconds before the crash, you can hear the tower ask the Black Hawk, do you have the plane in sight, and to pass behind the plane. The helicopter pilot requests visual separation to use their own visuals instead of direction from the tower. Take a listen.
S25, CRJ in flight. S25, F1 is CRJ.
This club has an aircraft in flight for separation.
The tower then approves visual separation, but it was too late. Seconds later, you can hear commotion in the tower, and then you can hear the reaction of the impact. Take a listen.
472 Washington Tower, 1 star, 32017.
Now, the NTSB corroborates some of this. In February, they said the Black Hawk may not have heard the command because they had stepped on the audio that air traffic control had told the pilots in the Black Hawk twice that the plane was changing runways, was circling, and would be landing. Here's the NTSB describing the breakdown 2 minutes before the crash.
At 8:46:01, a radio transmission from the tower was audible on the CRJ CVR, informing the Black Hawk that traffic just south of the Wilson Bridge was a CRJ at 1,200 feet circling to runway 33. CVR data from the Black Hawk indicated that the portion of the transmission stating the CRJ was circling may not have been received by the Black Hawk crew. We hear the word circling in ATC communications, but we do not hear the word circling on the CVR of the Black Hawk.
Now, certainly a more complicated picture of what happened that night, Kelly. We've asked the Army for comment. They have yet to get back to us.
All right, let me interject real quick, because as a pilot that I follow, his commentary is incredible. Like, he's really, really good. He puts his stuff together, and I guarantee you he has a great explanation of this now that the new information has come out, and he's always privy to this stuff that most people aren't. So I'll be interested to see what he had to say. Maybe in post-production we'll put it out there. But she had 450 total flight hours, 326 hours specifically with the Black Hawk helicopter. Now, out of a little bit of frustration, I'm overly critical of this person, but we cannot forget that her co-pilot who was training her is also responsible. Let me tell you why. Because when I was a police officer, I was a field training officer, FTO, and I'm responsible for the guy that's driving his car. And I need to make proper judgments and adjustments and listen and make sure that he's safe and everybody else is safe. Now, if he runs through a red light and kills everybody, do you blame me? No. But also, I should have responsibility in part of making sure he don't kill himself because he didn't hear a transmission, or he's unaware of things that he probably wouldn't know because he's somewhat in a role of not having as much experience as me. So, for instance, the visual separation situation. What I heard from that pilot that I was watching is that they requested visual separation. However, they were looking at the wrong aircraft. And this is how they messed up, because technically this aircraft is here. They want visual separation, but they're requesting visual separation as they're looking at a plane back there. So that's why you see them request visual separation, and then the crash happens like this. That's because they weren't asking for visual separation from this plane that's right here. They're somehow, the pilot and co-pilot are both looking back at another plane that's off in the distance, and they could adequately request visual separation. And the difference between visual separation is that you're looking at the plane and you're saying, I see it. I'm going to make adjustments because I can see the plane coming and I'm going to adjust. When the towers are telling you what to do, that's that you're not relying on visual separation, which probably takes some experience. You're letting them tell you the plane that's incoming is traveling at so many knots or whatever. And therefore they can predict if they're good enough that they're going to be at this point in about 30 seconds. So I need you to go down to 200 feet, and they may tell the pilot, can you, I don't know, circle back around, or I need you to throttle back and you're coming in too fast, or you need to speed up coming in. They can adjust those things on the go when they're in complete control. When it's visual separation, you should be able to adjust on your own and say, okay, that thing is there. We're going to go down about 200 feet, which will clearly make you miss. Or we're going to slow up, or we'll circle back around, or whatever the case may be. But clearly this person didn't do it. Now, what it makes me wonder And everybody should wonder, but the people that work with this person should be able to clarify it publicly. But what it makes me wonder is, was this a DEI hire? Was this somebody that should have never been flying that jet, and that time and time again through evaluation, people knew that this person was not prepared? Meaning that I don't care if you did 450 hours, because some people are making mistakes 450 hours in a row, and people wanting to pass them along will just overlook it. Let me give you an example. As an FTO, if you are a FTO that favors a person that you're training, they're messing up, but you're not documenting that they're messing up. If you're riding with a person that's a female police officer, and we need more female police officers, will they, or somebody who's biased, look beyond their flaws? We get into an altercation and the person is afraid to engage. But I don't put it on my document and I don't dock the person for it. And therefore the commanders think that they're passing with flying colors. And me and everybody else know that this person is struggling. We had them push a woman through in Tucson like this. She was a terrible candidate in the academy. She was a terrible candidate on the police department. Thank God, during a situation where she was the only person that had her gun out and the only person that fired a shot, an officer leaned over to like grab his coffee or something like this, because she fired a bullet and it went through the seat of the police vehicle. And if that man was sitting like this, she'd have shot him right in the face. And she shouldn't have never had her finger on the trigger to start with. But the guys would tell me, because I wasn't there when she was there, but they told me that they pushed her through because they needed a woman on the police department. So they pushed her on through. I'm hoping that they didn't do that with this person in this Black Hawk helicopter, that they just pushed her through because they need a woman to be a Black Hawk helicopter operator.
You guys, that was such a very touching one from the officer Tatum. All of this could have been avoided if only she listened to instruction. And one thing the officer Tatum said that actually stood out for me was if she was a DEI hire, because if she was, then this is the reason why I'll keep saying that DEI is very, very harmful in any organization where it is being implemented. But that being said, one singular mistake from this woman, ignoring the signals from the control tower, really ended up costing 67 people their lives. This is so bad, and rest in peace to everyone who died on that plane. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.